Welcome, Minecrafters. This video is about how to build an incredibly simple wither skull farm. I've built a couple of different wither skull farms in my little Minecraft worlds, and this one is without question the easiest one. It's based on a single portal, and you are going to have to do a little teeny bit of redstone. You can see it over my shoulder. I'll show you how to do that. This thing works in all versions of Minecraft after the aquatic update. There's no half slabbing or other work needed to restrict or locate spawning areas or anything else. You can just put a portal in your fortress. We'll talk about where to locate that later, and you're going to get 100% yield from this thing. We're going to get a wither skull from every wither skeleton that we can find and lead back to our portal. The basic idea is to get a charge creeper and our wither skeletons onto a single block where we can detonate the creeper safely and collect up the skulls. So here's how we get the wither skeletons down into a small area here. We use some tripwire hooks here that are 3 blocks high, so when the wither skeletons come out of the portal, they hit that. Now we could walk underneath it, but if we jump up and hit it right now, like a wither skeleton would, he falls into this water stream right here, goes down over here, falls into this other water stream right here, and goes down onto the block where we've got a charged creeper. Now let me just knock my way out of here so you can see how these guys get in here and how we direct them down real safely into the place where we're going to collect up the skulls. Now this is not an AFK farm. This is for people who enjoy playing Minecraft, like to go out and hunt wither skeletons and maybe do a little bit of creeper hunting too. Those of you that have seen my last video recognize this little system here for collecting, storing, and charging up the creepers. In this case, we set it up so that they go in just above the top of the wither skeletons. You have to drop them down on top of the wither skeletons. You can't just push them into the side. Now we're going to get a bucket here because later on in the video we're going to need a little bit of milk. You can see over there I've got a few cows. You're going to need a few cows around so you can get plenty of buckets of milk for your trips to the Nether. Now we're going to look at the little obsidian collection area here. This thing is basically 3 by 3 and 7 high. They're standing on a block of obsidian. I got the half slab down there to make it so the creeper can't get out. And all we have to do is step in that water there and the creeper will detonate. Now you don't want to detonate him with a flint and steel because you want to make sure you hit him and not any of the wither skeletons. Now let's cruise back up over here and we'll head off to the Nether and take a look at how and where to set up your portal. Now I did make 2 portals in this video. This portal over here is just for the video. I'm going to show you what happens when the wither skeletons come through here. Now let's just cruise off. This is the one portal that we just need to use for this build. Now we're going to come out into a little room here that has half slabs on the floor so nothing will spawn in here. And then we've got blocks up above the portal here to make it so that the 3 block high wither skeletons can't cruise through. So now it's just look out here for some wither skeletons now. I'm going to use a potion of night vision here to make it easier for us to find them. So you might want to put a little brewing stand in your area. Now you're going to want to spend a little bit of time up in your fortress waiting for the skeletons to spawn in. Now what I like to do is I really like to cut out these edges here and put in fencing. You can see it over there on the left because that makes it so that you don't limit any of the spawning blocks, but it also makes it a little safer. It's harder for them to knock you off, or if you get hit by a blaze or something, you don't get knocked off. So you can see there's a stairway right there I've got coming up here. You know, I built that stairway in there because I actually found more skeletons off of this fortress than I found in the fortress. I found a lot more out over there. I actually put those torches down out there, made a little passageway back, and then those stairs going up to the edge there, because I found a heck of a lot of skeletons down out over there. Okay, so the other thing that I do in my fortresses is when I get a little further away and I start to get, you know, a little to help me navigate, I put down like, you know, cobblestone blocks, you know, on the right when I'm leaving the where my portal is, and then I put so when you're coming back, they'll be on your left. And then you can see in areas where we're going to be coming up here a lot, I put these stairs down to make it really easy for me to get the skeletons to follow me back up. So you can see here's a... Oh, here we go. Here he comes. This guy's rocking. Okay, we found one. Fantastic. Okay, now while this guy is following us up here, I'll talk about where we locate the portal. Originally, I tried to put the portal down in the center of this fortress, but it came out, the Overworld portal came out above an ocean. It was way out in the middle of nowhere. So that didn't work so well, so I detonated that, took it all out, cruised back. I used my elytra to cruise back. And then I tried another location. It was also down that lower level down there. But that one came out underneath an ocean, and it was kind of there was like a couple of little islands around, but not a lot of area for creepers to spawn in. So then I tried this one up here, and the reason I picked this place right here is because it's directly underneath a rail system that I've got. So watch this guy. He's going to bump into the block up there, and he goes right through the portal. Now, he's actually, you can imagine him standing in the Overworld portal right now. And he's not going to move off of that portal until you come back into the Overworld. So here we go, back into the Overworld. We're going to come out right next to him on the portal, okay? And then we're going to quickly, like, sprint off of here, okay? And then what happened there is he may have tried to hit us. Very often they'll hit you. That's why I've got the bucket of milk there, okay? So as soon as I step out. But almost always, as a matter of fact, always, they'll fall through and you'll be able to get out of there. I'll show you later on. I did make a little area down underneath there so that if you did happen to fall through, you could get out. Where was that guy? Wasn't there another skeleton over here? Oh, there he is. Okay. Yeah, I'll show you later on how I made like a little safety area there for you to climb out and make sure that the skeletons still go down into the trough and everything down there. Hey, buddy, up here. Yes, come on up here. What the heck are you doing off of the fortress? You've got to be hanging out over here. Oh, see, he did give us a little bite. Okay. All right. Well, that's a good reason to bring our milk with us. I don't think we're going to need it here. So let's let him follow us in. So again, he's in the Overworld, standing on the portal. I think what we're going to do now is I'm going to use this other portal that I've got over here that's aligned with that one that's way out on that walkway. When I come through here, I'm going to zoom in so you can see this guy. So as soon as I come in here, he starts to range, he steps off, hits the tripwire, and goes right in. Okay, now if you were in a realm and you had another player here and the Overworld was loaded, the wither skeleton might just step off at that time. But if you're playing single player like this, they won't hop off of that until you come back into that area. Now, I do not recommend that you put in a lot of wither skeletons all at one time before you come back through. I've tried that a few times, and once I had a couple of them that were able to get across that thing and didn't fall into the water. So when you bring back one or two, then just hop in the portal and then kind of do a little sprint when you come out of there, and they'll drop in. Now let's talk a little bit more about where you locate the portal. Like I said before, the most important thing actually is where it comes out in the Overworld. You want to make it someplace so that when you come out in the Overworld, you've got a reasonable number of blocks, a reasonable area that creepers can spawn in. Because you're going to have to go out and collect up creepers so you can charge them up and put them in that little storage area that we talked about in the last video. And you're going to want to do a lot of your Overworld builds at night so that you can let the creepers spawn in around your area. And you can take off, you know, during the day if you want and go hunt them down, because then the other mobs will have burned up and everything. It makes it really easy. When you're out in your fortress, I would recommend that you do not put torches down because it will limit the spawning for these guys. So like I said before, mark your area with blocks or some other way of navigating. And then occasionally you're going to have to come out here in the Nether and just kind of go thinning out the mobs. That's what I call it. You're going to want to go out and hunt some of these guys down that are off the fortress and everything. You know, I go out actually and just knock off a lot of the pigment and everything, just clean it all out. If you find one of these guys who's out in an area that's really hard to get to, like up on the side of a cliff or out over some lava or something, then just shoot arrows at them, knock them off, and make it so that you can get another one to spawn in the area. Now, if you're really good with nether portals, you might be able to put one or two right nearby here that would link up to that single portal in the Overworld where the little collection area is. Well, if you're not really comfortable running around in the Nether like this, I'd recommend that you watch my video on how to survive in the Nether safely for hours. But for now, let's head back to the Overworld, and we will show you how to get that charged creeper to safely detonate and collect up those skulls. And I put a little water drop over here that drops right down into that area where the creeper is and where we're collecting up our friends. Now you can take a look at my inventory here. I've got no skulls in my inventory. I think I've got, I don't know, somewhere between 12 and, I don't know, 15 or 16 or something in here right now. So because I'm standing in the water, when the creeper detonates, I take no damage. And I hope you've noticed it during this video. Whoa, holy cow. Ah, that's interesting. Now he came down here so fast, this guy hadn't had a chance to flow through the whole water stream yet. That's a first for me. So there's a lesson, I guess. If you use this thing, make sure you give those guys plenty of time to cruise across there. Oh, we got 16 skulls. That's really good. And we had collected up at least 40 before, so that brings us total to 56. I have used some of the skulls I've gotten from this to decorate out this build. You've seen them around here. And I have actually made those 3 beacons that are up there. So I haven't spent too much time in the Nether collecting these guys up. So you can see, you can imagine, you know, how efficient this is, and you're not going to have to spend a heck of a lot of time up in the Nether to get enough wither skulls to make, you know, to spawn in the wither boss and decorate out your world and make all kinds of beacons. You'll have a blast with this thing. You know, I think I'm going to hold off on knocking that charged creeper in there. I think you guys all understand how that works. Just hit the button, trapdoor opens up, piston fires across and knocks them into the water stream. The water stream carries them over and drops them down on top of wither skeletons. Let's go up here, take a quick look at the redstone here that we use to just trap these guys. So what we're trying to do here is make it so that so get a simple way so that when they hit the tripwire there, it shuts off this torch. I'll show you where the redstone is. The block up there with the torch on it is the one that has a tripwire hook attached to it. There's one on each side. And then you put a little redstone on the top and then carry some redstone down to the block that has a torch on it, and that will shut the torch off. Okay, so let's take the torch out of there, and you'll see that when the torch is not powered, okay, the pistons retract and the wither skeletons fall in. Now I'll put the torch back on here, and of course it's powered up. Okay, it's like a little inverter. Whenever you put power to a block that has a torch on it, the torch shuts off. Okay, so that's basically it. That's the simple redstone. And of course the redstone is on top of the blocks behind the pistons, because when you power the blocks behind the pistons will fire across. Okay, so let's throw these back in here. Let me copy what I did over there. Perfect. Set that up. Now, you know, I've been thinking a little bit about why the wither skeletons were not attacking me when I was coming through the portal. And I'm kind of thinking that it's because we were coming across on the same block that they were. Let's take a look at this here first. Notice where the pistons are in here. Now, you don't really even have to have these on both sides. You could actually just put a wall on one side of the portal, block it off, and you'd only have to have 4 pistons. It probably would work just as well as this one. Okay, so you could save yourself a little bit of resources. And of course, this is the little emergency exit I was talking about earlier. You could just swim upstream and hop out. The wither skeletons are going to get pushed downstream. Notice that it's only 2 blocks high here, so they can't even come up in here. It's like a safe way to come out if you ever do get knocked in. Now, I was talking about this a second ago. I think the reason that the wither skeletons weren't hitting me and attacking me when I was coming through the portal in this video was because I was coming through on exactly the same block that they were on. So I think if I'm coincident, if I'm on the same exact block, they can't see me until I start to sprint out of there. So you might want to try that if you ever do build one of these things. Watch the block that the skeleton comes through on, then follow them back through the portal on exactly the same block, and it looks like they might not see you until you sprint out of there. So it looks like a safer and easier way to use this. I think the greatest thing about this build is how early you could do it in a new survival world. The hardest thing may be just getting your enchanting table, getting your trident of channeling with loyalty on it so you can charge up the creepers. Of course, you do need to gather up a lot of obsidian. You could cast that thing in down there, you know, the little chamber that they're in. That would just take some buckets of lava and some water. Take a little bit of time, but it could be done. Well, I hope you all enjoyed this video. I'm gonna go have some fun, hunting some more wither skeletons, and then I'm gonna go slay the wither boss. This is Wes, and I'm signing out.